What is Revelation 13 trying to say, and does it have any relevance in today's society? Revelation 13 is part of a series of apocalyptic visions written down by the Apostle John at the end of the 1st century. Although John was expressing his vision of the future, he could only do this using language and terminology available from his vantage point all those years ago. It is therefore necessary to decode the metaphors used in order to understand his message.
The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea.
A description of the dragon is given by John in a previous revelation.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
In biblical terminology, the sea represents the ocean of humanity, in which John sees a beast coming forth.
It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear, and a mouth like that of a lion.
The numbers 10 and 7 in biblical terms are numbers of completion. The horns, heads, and crowns represent leaders, kings, and kingdoms. Therefore, this beast is a composite created by the complete union of all leaders, kings, and kingdoms, working against spiritual concepts, which is regarded as blasphemous.
The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. One of the heads of the beast seemed to have had a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was filled with wonder and followed the beast. People worshipped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast, and they also worshipped the beast and asked, "Who is like the beast? Who can wage war against it?" The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies, and to exercise its authority for 42 months. It opened its mouth to blaspheme God, and to slander his name and his dwelling place and those who live in heaven. It was given power to wage war against God's holy people and to conquer them. And it was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. All inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast, all whose names have not been written in the Lamb's book of life, the Lamb who was slain from the creation of the world. Whoever has ears, let them hear. If anyone is to go into captivity they will go. If anyone is to be killed with the sword they will be killed. This calls for patient endurance and faithfulness on the part of God's people. Then I saw a second beast coming out of the earth. It had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spoke like a dragon. It exercised all the authority of the first beast on its behalf, and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the first beast, whose fatal wound had been healed. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven to the earth in full view of the people. Because of the signs it was given power to perform on behalf of the first beast, it deceived the inhabitants of the earth. It ordered them to set up an image in honor of the beast who was wounded by the sword and yet lived. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had a mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. That number is 666.
Here, John talks about people receiving the mark of the beast on either their foreheads or their hands. The forehead represents the mind, and in this case, the mark means to be like-minded, thinking in line with the beast's mentality and objectives. The hand represents actions or deeds. In Proverbs 20:11, your actions or deeds can either be in line with the Creator or in line with the beast.
Even a child makes himself known by his acts, by whether his conduct is pure and upright.
From John's vantage point, at the end of the 1st century, his experience of beast-like qualities come from the Roman Empire, which, during his day, was ruled by Domitian. However, 30 years before John wrote his Revelations, Nero Caesar was the emperor of the Roman Empire, a leader who left a legacy of fear, mistrust, disdain, and bitter resentment throughout Rome during his 13-year reign. Not only was Nero accused of killing his mother and his wife, he was also accused of setting fire to the city in order to build an enormous palace over the ruins which he helped to create. In the last paragraph of John's Revelation, we are told that those with insight must calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. It was a common practice in John's day to use a system known as gematria, where numbers were exchanged in place of letters. Consequently, when the Greek name for Nero Caesar is translated into Hebrew, then transposed into numbers using gematria, those numbers add up to 666. This on its own is plausible. However, some of the oldest copies of the New Testament give the number 616. Furthermore, when Nero Caesar's name is translated from Latin, not Greek, into Hebrew, before transposing using the gematria system, the number does indeed equate to 616. The overall message is clear. The beast in John's apocalyptic vision represents a complete composite of previously independent powers coming together to form a union of absolute control, opposing all aspects of spirituality which are fashioned and in tune with the Creator. While 7 is the number of perfection and the foundation of God's Word, the number 6 symbolizes human weakness and the evils of Satan. It is also a number associated with the planet Saturn.